Have you ever seen a feud online and just watched it explode? Well, today we're diving into a story that's all about clicks, betrayal, and how a viral fight can lead to millions of dollars in damage. But here's the twist. The real story is how that same outrage, that same drama, can actually become a tool for political censorship. Let's get into it. I want to start with just one number, negative 2.6 million. Now that's not a loss on the stock market, it's not a budget problem, it's people. It's a measure of public opinion, of verdicts delivered by the internet in real time.
So, the big question is, how on earth does this happen? How does a major influencer lose that many followers in just 3 days? I mean, we're talking about one of the fastest, most stunning falls from grace in internet history. And, believe it or not, it all started with a friendship.
We are talking, of course, about the massive public fallout between two of the biggest names in the beauty world at the time. James Charles, who was this absolute superstar on the rise, and his mentor, Tati Westbrook.
So these two were really close, you know? Tati basically took him under her wing back in 2016. He even did her makeup at her wedding. That's how tight they were. But then, April 2019 hits. James posts an ad from Coachella for Sugar Bear hair vitamins. The problem? Tati has her own vitamin brand, a direct competitor. So yeah, Tati instantly posts about feeling betrayed, and for the first time, the whole world saw a crack in their friendship.
Well, that little crack, a few weeks later, it became a full-blown earthquake. Tati uploaded a 43-minute-long video that basically set the entire internet on fire, and the title was simple, iconic, and absolutely brutal, Bye Sister.
So what was in this bombshell video? Well, Tati laid out a case that was a powerful mix of business grievance and personal hurt. She talked about the business betrayal, sure. She talked about his attitude, this feeling that he thought he could do anything. But then she dropped the one that really blew everything up. She accused him of using his fame and power to manipulate straight men.
And this quote right here, this was the emotional core of the whole thing. It perfectly framed the story. This wasn't just about vitamins anymore. This was a moral judgment. It was about a powerful person supposedly abusing their influence. And that gave millions of people a reason to get very, very angry.
But look, an accusation from one person, even someone as big as Tati, doesn't cause a 2.6 million subscriber drop all on its own. The next step here is crucial. It's all about amplification, how the rest of the internet took that initial spark and fanned it into a raging inferno.
And this is where things get really dangerous. It's like a massive game of telephone. Tati used strong but, legally vague words like predatory behavior. But the media, the commentary channels, they needed clicks, so they translated that into much harsher, much more criminal-sounding language. Suddenly, the headlines weren't about bad behavior. They were screaming, sex predator.
At this point, the story wasn't really about a personal fight anymore. The internet had appointed itself judge, jury, and executioner. All the nuance, all the details, they were just thrown out. The narrative got boiled down to good versus evil, the verdict was guilty, and the punishment was immediate.
And you can literally see that punishment right here in the data. While James Charles was just hemorrhaging followers, Tati Westbrook was gaining almost 3 million. It was this massive, instantaneous transfer of social currency, all driven by this sensationalized story.
But this was never just about vanity metrics like followers. That digital verdict had very real, very tangible consequences. The online firestorm translated directly into financial harm.
And the financial damage was just staggering. I mean, sure, the lost ad revenue and merch sales hurt, but the biggest hit, the absolute killer, was the lost brand deals. We're talking estimates that range from $2 to as much as $10 million. The cost of this viral rage becomes incredibly clear when you see the final number.
So in total, the estimated short-term financial damage was somewhere between $3 and $12 million. Let that sink in. All of that stemming from a personal argument that was cranked up into a global scandal for the sake of clicks and traffic.
Okay, so an influencer lost millions. You might be thinking, why does this matter outside of the beauty community? Because these things, they don't just happen in a bubble. They have ripple effects that touch on much bigger issues. Issues about free speech, the internet, and who gets to control it.
This whole situation is a perfect case study in what you could call the cycle of sensationalism. A private fight gets blown up for clicks, it causes huge damage, and then the public looks at the chaos and pretty naturally thinks someone should do something about this. And that creates a real demand for more rules, more regulation, more control.
And that's where the real danger sneaks in. See, it's a three-step process. First, you have a messy online event that causes massive outrage. Second, the public demands that somebody step in and regulate things to stop it from happening again. And then, and this is the most critical part, authoritarian figures see their chance. They use that public desire for safety as the perfect excuse to push for more media censorship and to crack down on free speech, all in the name of protecting everyone.
So let's connect all the dots. This isn't just about one influencer's career. When online mobs can inflict millions of dollars in damages based on amplified accusations, it creates a chilling effect for all creators. It feeds this narrative that online freedom is just too dangerous, that it needs to be reined in. And that provides the perfect political cover for governments who want more control. It's a small part of a much bigger, more worrying global trend of democratic values being chipped away in favor of censorship.
So this leaves all of us with a final question. The next time a story like this blows up online, and we all know it will, what is our role in it? By clicking and sharing and commenting, are we just consuming drama for entertainment? Or are we, maybe without even realizing it, casting a vote for a more controlled, more censored internet? Are we accidentally strengthening the hand of those who want to decide what we're allowed to see, say, and hear? It's something to think about.